Federal government pledges commitment to gender responsiveness for commodities and export. Vice President urges businesses to adopt alternative dispute resolution. Plus, Asia-Pacific shares dip as Europe and U.S. markets rise amid U.S. coronavirus cases surge. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital, and I am Moplan Dakok. We are always glad to have you join us on Business Express. The federal government is promoting the adoption of alternative dispute resolution and creating the necessary infrastructure which will enhance the speedy resolution of business-related disputes as part of measures to attract foreign investors. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, at a virtual interaction with members of the French Business Confederation and representatives of several top French companies and officials, noted that companies would rather resolve their disputes through commercial arbitration, an area which government is looking to explore in greater detail, and advised that alternative dispute resolution such as arbitration and mediation should always be in contracts. On business competitiveness, the Vice President explained that the efforts made by the administration across diverse areas of creating conducive business environment is yielding results. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has expressed optimism that Nigerian economy is being steered on the path of growth despite the prevailing challenges. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Awoni, says Senator Lawan spoke at the Nigeria International Monetary Fund consultation virtual exercise, which he listed efforts being made by the Nigerian government, which include anti-corruption fight, promoting economic growth and reducing poverty in the country. Lawan observed that the nation is on the path of growth, focusing on sustaining investment in all ramifications in spite of the setback caused by COVID-19. To benefit optimally from the 45% survival fund allocation by government, women are advised to take advantage of ongoing free registration of businesses. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, made the call at a launch of Commodities for Export initiative in her ministry in Abuja. Benny Adams reports.
It's only when the businesses are formalized that they'll be able to access other government initiatives.
Equal rights between men and women are enshrined as fundamental human rights in the UN Charter. To further this goal, out of the ongoing disbursement of MSME's 75 billion naira survival fund, 45% has been allocated to the female gender. An advocate of he for she is the initiator of the scheme, aimed at building the capacity of women for economic prosperity.
GIC aims to harness available resources, human, financial, and technical, to help strengthen the capacity of women in the department and equip them to empower others to unleash the economic potentials of women in the commodity and export trade subsector through impactful programs and activities.
The women are expected to benefit from the various support initiatives under the Survival Fund to add value to commodities that meet export quality.
The federal government has launched the 3 digital products for the micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, to improve their sales, update skills and enhance knowledge. The 3 digital products are Market Hub app, MSME's Digital Academy, and MSME's Equipment Exhibition Portal, which were developed by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDAN. The products were launched virtually, with policymakers saying the initiative will help attain excellence in the operations of MSMEs in the country. As we take the conversation on these initiatives further, the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Miriam Katagum, joins me now to speak on the various steps targeted at making the MSME sector work for the Nigerian people. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
So a whole lot seems to be happening at the same time, from lifelines to exports and the survival fund. Tell us about the 3 MSMEs digital products launched just yesterday.
Thank you very much. You'll all recall that these products were launched yesterday by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency. And the importance of MSMEs to any economy in the world cannot be overemphasized. All over the world, MSMEs are the engines of economic growth. And here in Nigeria, they contribute about 50% of the GDP. And so far from the last survey, we've had about 41.5 million MSMEs. So briefly, the 3 products, as you've indicated, the Market Hub is a one-stop online platform for people who want to come and showcase their businesses. So this provides an opportunity to exchange ideas. You register your business and you're able to have other enterprises view whatever it is that you have to offer. You also have the Digital Academy, which, as it says, is an academy. So you'll come to learn new skills. You can come and teach others the skills that you have. Others could learn from you, and then you can share knowledge. And the last one is the exhibition portal for equipment. Here, manufacturers of particularly light equipment, both locally, but particularly locally, since we're looking at local content, can come and showcase what equipment they have. Thereby, business owners can see this equipment, they can place their orders, they can follow up on issues of maintenance. So these 3 are the 3 portals that were launched are very important and very critical to the MSME sector at this point in time.
So what role do all this play in the new economic dimensions, talking about the digital initiatives?
Yeah, okay. Right now, the world has gone digital, and Nigeria cannot be an exception. Secondly, the COVID pandemic has forced on us to go digital. So this is a very important step that SMEDAN has taken by bringing these 3 different platforms, because now MSMEs have the space to showcase their work. They have a space to source for other materials. They also have a space to locate equipment and network. And this will greatly help with trade facilitation, bearing in mind that just on Wednesday, the Federal Executive Council ratified our agreement on AFCFTA. So this will give our MSMEs the platform to enable them to access eventually the African market when this comes into force on the 1st of January. So really, this is very important for the MSMEs, because they do not have the resources to physically go to places. So this platform, the 3, will be very important for their businesses and for the development of MSMEs as a whole.
The Commodities Export Initiative, which was also just launched, couldn't have come at a better time with the AFCFTA takeoff in sight. What is the decentralization process to get national participation, especially by women?
First of all, the initiative that was launched yesterday, we were very happy and thankful to the various women organizations that turned up for the launch. And we got their commitment and buy-in into this process. Secondly, as I mentioned, with the AFCFTA coming on board, already in the whole of West Africa, not just Nigeria, women are great traders. They're going up and down the West Africa coast. So with the AFCFTA, we at the ministry, we thought it's very important to get our women fully empowered. We need to get them to understand how, from the point of selecting a commodity in their locality, how they can process that commodity, how they can package it, label it, taking into consideration issues of quality. And here we think of the NAFDAC registration, and then how they can take it to the point of export. So these are very important steps. But as I said, we're going to work with these women organizations. And then also next week, we have the national, not next week, I beg your pardon, first week of December, we have the National Council on Trade and Investment, which is the highest decision-making council in our sector. And it brings together all the commissioners from the various states and the FCT. So we're going to present a memorandum to them on this so that we get their buy-in. Also, we have established collaboration with a number of MDAs. So we're looking forward to working closely with the Ministry of Women Affairs, Ministry of Agric, and of course, working with the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, because we need to empower these women to also look at what are the international best practices, and then to be able to take their businesses to the next level.
Right. What package is there for manufacturing and industries in this new drive for enhanced productivity? Because you mentioned the exhibition portal, and I'm particularly interested in that because many people who may be manufacturers and industry players may not players necessarily, but they may want to have something to show on their portal, but funding is an issue.
For the portal for manufacturers, it's going to provide you a platform to upload or showcase what you're producing. And then also, when you showcase that, for the end users, which are the MSMEs, they will now see the possibility. If they were doing processing a particular product in a very tedious, costly, or time-consuming manner, they'll be able to see these products online. But on the wider level, within the country, we'll be able to see what is being produced. Those that have innovations coming up, whether from the university sector or the organized private sector, these things can be showcased. So by and large, this platform should be able to reinforce the executive orders on local content. It should also be able to help us reduce the amount we spend on importation of foreign machinery. It's not to say that we will not import foreign machinery, but it's going to reduce because at the level of MSMEs, the machinery that's required could be produced here locally. And sometimes information has a value that whatever it is you're looking for outside the country is probably being produced here. So this platform is going to bridge that gap. And then by and large, on the wider industry level, we feel that with the Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan, whereby we're zeroing on various sectors, industry will be able to locate places where they can source their raw materials and what are the latest production technology. So these are some of the advantages that we think this platform is going to bring about to industry.
Minister, the free registration for businesses has really gotten thumbs up. However, the issue is that some businesses crashed just as quick as they take off. What are you putting in place to ensure that these ones do not fail?
Well, I think briefly, let me say a thing or two about why MSMEs crash or fail. First of all, is this lack of formalization. You have a one-person business, perhaps operating from a family, no other external partner. They don't have capacity building in terms of skills. They do not have access to credit, neither do they have access to the market. And then, of course, there's the general issue of ease of doing business, multiple taxation and levies and so on, which is why we thought that with the CAC free registration, which is targeting 250,000 hitherto unregistered businesses, we'll be able to formalize them. And in terms of knowledge and skills building, you recall His Excellency the Vice President has led teams to various MSME clinics all over the country, 26 of them so far. And during these clinics, we bring all the government agencies, about 20 plus, to come and help them with registration, with quality control, with how they can package their goods better for exports, even teaching them how to, as I said, go from commodity to the point of export and repatriation of their funds. And then, of course, the Presidential Ease of Doing Business Council, PEBEC, has been working at the federal level with agencies and also at the subnational level, trying to reduce the multiplicity of hurdles that MSMEs go through in order to run their businesses successfully.
All right,
so I think
let me cut in here. Just the
Yes.
last question before you go. Just tell us very quickly, after the survival fund, what next?
Well, the survival fund came about as a result of the need to cushion the effects of the COVID pandemic. So how do we keep the economy growing? How do we prevent job losses? And what we've done for the MSME Survival Fund is to put in place a very robust M&E monitoring mechanism. So my belief is that with the information we're gathering, with the lessons learned from the MSME Survival Fund, we will submit recommendations to government. And based on facts, based on these lessons learned, that will determine which way we're going next. But be it as it may, this project, what we've seen so far, the impact is going to be tremendous on business. Remember, we're targeting 1.7 million individuals and business entities. So it's going to have a huge impact. And as I said, it is based on lessons learned and actual recommendations to government that will determine what the next steps will be. But I'm sure whatever steps His Excellency will take will be steps that are in the interest of the Nigerian economy, and they're in the interest of the MSMEs. And this opportunity that's been given will be the change maker for a lot of MSMEs.
All right. Thank you very much. We've been speaking to the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Miriam Katagun. Thank you so much for joining us on Zoom this afternoon on Business Express.
Thank you very much.
All right, we now go to the commodity market to see prices this Friday. Nasima has welcomed the decision by government to ratify the AFCFTA. The chamber, through its Director General Ayo Olukani, says it is good news and a reflection of Nigeria's commitment to fully be part of this historic trade and economic agreement. Nasima urged relevant arms of government, especially the Office of the Attorney General, to promptly prepare the necessary ratification papers to ensure rapid deposition of the Secretariat. The Chamber, as part of strategic planning and readiness, has been closely working with various stakeholders, including Afri-Exim Bank and UNECA, regarding operational issue areas such as effectiveness of the Pan-African payment and settlement system. Also, the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry has applauded approval of the AFCFTA, calling for government support for private sector manufacturing and industrialization. In a statement issued in Abuja and signed by its president, Adetokunbo Kayode, the ACCI described the development as a major boost to trade integration among African nations. According to the chamber, the AFCFTA is a flagship project whose success will expand intra- and inter-African trade while also creating wealth to address gross inequality and poverty in Africa. Meanwhile, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has said the 361-kilometer East-West Road project would gulp 1 trillion naira. Akpabio, at a virtual meeting, reiterated the resolve of the ministry to give adequate consideration to ensure safety, efficiency, and economic viability of the road, as well as guarantee return on investment. A statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations to the Niger Delta Ministry, Patricia Diwotishe, pointed out that the huge cost of the construction of the road initiated under the Olusegun Obasanjo administration was due to the nature of the terrain and magnitude of the project. Nigerian stock market ends best week in recent time. Yesterday, the automated trading halt system of the exchange temporarily suspended trading for 30 minutes as the bulls got unchained and drove equities benchmark index above the 5.0% extreme volatility point, all the way to 6.23% at the close of trade. This is the highest single-day rise for 2020 as the market witnessed massive buy pressure. Stocks lost steam in early trade on Friday, and at the close of business, the NSE All-Share Index settled at 35,037.46 points after shedding 0.86%. Market capitalization trimmed to 18.308 trillion naira. 1.243 billion shares valued at 16.286 billion naira were traded in 13,433 deals. Buy pressure has continued to dominate the market, with Transcorp, Zenith, and Access Banks topping activities. On the global scene, Asia-Pacific shares dip as U.S. coronavirus cases surge. Bosede Able reports on global stock markets.
Stocks in Asia-Pacific were lower on Friday, 13th November, as coronavirus cases in the U.S. continue to surge and dimming optimism from positive vaccine news, with mainland Chinese stocks also dipping into negative territory during afternoon trade. Shanghai Composite declined 0.86% to 3,310.1. Hang Seng Index closed fractionally lower at 26,156.86, and Nikkei also shed 0.53% to close at 25,385.87. European stocks were mixed. DAX appreciated 0.12%, CAC 40 0.34%, while FTSE 100 dropped 0.33% to close at 6,318.9. U.S. stock futures were higher early Friday as Wall Street continues to grapple with the rising number of coronavirus cases and its potential economic impacts. Dow Jones Industrial Average futures traded 119 points higher. S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq 100 futures also traded in positive territory. Africa stocks were mixed, with South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, Tunisia's Tunidex, and Ghana's GSA Composite posting gains. Bosede Able, Business Express.
And on the currency market, the Japanese yen edged higher on Friday as investors crept back into the safe haven currency on concerns that successful tests of a COVID-19 vaccine may not be enough to offset the economic damage of a trying winter in Europe and the United States. Let's take a look at prevailing exchange rates this Friday. This is where we end this edition of Business Express, the last for the week. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us on Twitter. The handle is @NTA News Now. The hashtag is BizX. Business Express returns Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. I am Muplang Dakok.